What's going on, you guys? Claire, welcome back to the channel Code Commerce, and in this video I'm going to show you how to incorporate Google Authentication. You're going to be able to sign in with Google inside of your React application, and we're going to be doing it with Supabase. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So here we are in VS Code. I'm going to go ahead and install React. So I'm going to type in npm create vite at latest, and we'll go ahead and install it inside our current directory since I'm already in the folder I want to be in. Let's go down to React. We'll choose JavaScript with a speedy web compiler. We'll type npm I. Now I'm going to use Tailwind. This isn't a Tailwind video. I'm not going to go in depth on Tailwind, so let's go ahead and type in tailwindcss.com. But I just want to use just a couple of things just to make it really easy and quick. We'll click Get Started. Let's go to the framework guides. We'll find Vite. We've already created our projects. We just need to install it. So just go ahead and copy that. We'll paste it in there. Next, we'll grab this npx tailwind css init-p, and we'll paste that in as soon as this is done. Cool, so let's paste that in. That's going to create a little Tailwind config file over here on the left. There it is. So let's just go ahead and one more step. We need to put this inside of the little content array. We'll save. And actually one more, we just need to copy these directives over into the source folder inside the index.css, and we can just paste those at the top. So let's go ahead and save. And that's it with Tailwind. We're done. Tailwind is working. Let's go ahead and close that down. So let's go ahead and type npm run dev. We'll go ahead and just start up our development server here. Let's go to localhost 5173. There it is. So you might notice some styles have been thrown off because of Tailwind. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and close the Tailwind config. We'll close the index.css, and let's go into our app.jsx. We're actually just going to delete all of this inside. We'll leave those brackets in there, and that's going to be all we need for this. So the first thing we need to do after installing Tailwind, we need to actually go integrate Supabase into our project. So let's just go over to, you can go to supabase.com, just start your project, sign in. It's going to be free. You don't need a credit card or anything like that. So we're going to create a new project in here. That's fine. Project name, I'll just call this Google Auth. Type in a password. We'll do the generate password, then just choose the region that's closest to your location. All right, so let's go ahead and implement Supabase in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a Supabase client.js. And this is where we're going to keep all of our Supabase keys. We actually need to install Supabase too. So let's do, where are the docs here? We'll go, let's see, feedback. Where are the docs at? Let's just do this. Supabase docs. All right, auth, there we go. Let's scroll down. I'm going to open this up a little bit. React. We don't need to do all that. Let's just do this. We'll grab this one right here. So this is to install Supabase, and it's actually going to install a UI auth component that I'll show you how to use that as well. So let's stop our server and we'll go ahead and install that. We can go ahead and close that. Actually, let's leave it open. We're going to use some of this as well. All right, so let's go back to the Supabase dashboard here. We'll go to authentication. We need the project settings. We need to get Supabase configured. So come down to API, and we need to use the public anon key, and also we have our URL right here. So let's go back into VS Code, and now that we installed Supabase, we want to import create client from @Supabase. We want the Supabase URL, and this is actually coming from an env file. So let's just go ahead and create the env file first as well. We'll just say .env, and this is where we're going to keep our secret keys here. So we'll have our vite underscore Supabase URL, and then we'll have our vite underscore Supabase anon key. Let's copy those over. So this is our URL. No quotes needed. In fact, don't use quotes, it won't work. Then let's grab the public anon key. We'll paste that in there. Go ahead and save, and we can close our .env file. Now guys, don't use the keys that I'm using. I'm going to delete my project after this. Make sure you get your own keys. So now we can import these. Say import .meta.env.vite underscore Supabase underscore URL. And we'll need const Supabase anon key from import.meta.env.vite underscore Supabase anon key. And these are just what we're importing from our .env. Say export const Supabase equal to We want to create client. We'll pass in the Supabase URL and also the Supabase anon key. Let's go ahead and save. That should be all we need there. And if we look at the docs on Supabase, where we're going to be using the auth component, this has it configured inside of our app.js. We don't want to do that. We want to hide all our keys in the .env file. So that's why we created a separate Supabase client. So let's close the Supabase client. Now that we have that configured, we'll go back to the app.jsx. We can delete a couple things in here and let's bring over some stuff. So we're going to need this session here, right? So let's grab the session and we'll grab this use effect right there. Paste that in, give some spaces. Then for the return, we're going to grab this in here. We'll copy that. We'll just paste that over the return. Let's go ahead and save. I'll drop this down a little bit. Scroll up. Now we need to import Supabase since they just added it inside of their app.js. Like I said, we just put it in our Supabase client.js. So we just need to import this Supabase here. And we want to pull it in from this one here. And let's come back over here. We're going to be using this here. So let's pull that in. We'll pull this Auth UI React. And I'm going to show you how we can set up kind of two things that Supabase offers. It offers a pre-built UI component for authentication. I'm going to show you how we can set that up, and I'm going to show you how we can customize it as well, kind of do our own thing. Okay, so if we go ahead and start our server, let's just see what it's looking like on the screen. Might get some errors in here. That's fine. Let's see what we have. Use effect is not defined, so we'll go ahead and make sure we import that. Let's see what else we have. Use effect. Oh, there we go. We have a use effect. Let's go ahead and save. Supabase is not defined. Oops, I don't need to bring in the Supabase client. We just need Supabase. There we go. And let's go ahead and update. Instead of Supabase client, we don't need that. We need this just Supabase like that. So we'll refresh. What other errors we have here? Does not provide an export named Supabase. Oh, that's because this needs to come from our Supabase client. Supabase client. Okay, let's save. Anything else? Cool. So this is what you should see here. And this is the pre-built Supabase Auth UI component. So you have the sign in with GitHub, sign in with Google, sign in with Azure, and then the email and password. We're not doing that. We're just going to use the Google account. But before we can actually sign in with Google, we have to go to set up our Google authentication. So let's come up here and we'll go to console.cloud.google.com. And this is free as well. You just need a Google account. Cool. Let's open up here. We'll go down to APIs and services, and we want the credentials. Open this up a bit. We don't have a project, so we want to create a new project. Call it whatever you want. I'll say Supabase Auth. Let's go ahead and create. All right, so it wants us to configure the consent screen. That's fine. We'll just run through that super quick. Should only take a second. We'll just use internal for now since we're doing testing. We'll do create. It's probably going to want a little bit of information. Yes, we'll just say Supabase Auth. Just type in an email. I'll use my client code commerce. By the way, guys, if you're applying for a job and you need a resume template, you don't know what a resume should look like, a tech resume, click the link below. I'll send you my free resume that I use to get my jobs in tech. So click the link below and I'll send it to you for free. And so let's go back down here. Homepage. Let's just do this for our... Let's just do that. Save and continue. I don't think we need anything else. Hopefully not. Let's see if we can get away with just this. Back to dashboard. We'll click on credentials. And what we want to do is create some new credentials. And we're going to be using the OAuth client ID. So let's do that one. So this is our application type. We're using a website. So we'll just use web application. They have Android, Chrome extension, iOS. But we're doing the web app. Web client 1. That's fine. We can just keep that name for now. Now, let's go back over to Supabase. Okay, so we'll go back over to Supabase, and inside here, let's click on Authentication. So just go on your side tab here, Project Settings, Authentication. Now, let's see. Let's look at our, what authentication do we have? Let's see, this is email. Let's go in here, authentication, actually. So we'll go up here just below database authentication. We'll choose providers. Then by default, email is just going to be enabled. We're not using that in this video. Let's find Google. There it is. It's disabled by default. So first, let's just go ahead and enable that. So it wants the client IDs and also the client secret. Then we're going to pass this callback URL back to Google. So let's go back to our Google dashboard here. And inside here, see, Authorize redirect URIs, we'll add that. So let's go back here. We'll just copy this here and we'll paste that in there. Let's go ahead and create. Okay, so now it gives us our client ID. Let's just copy that and we'll paste that in here for Supabase. Just a lot of copy and pasting in development, I guess. So the client secret is what we'll grab next. We'll go over here, put it in the client secret. Everything else is fine. We just added the callback URL for OAuth. Let's just go ahead and save. Then over here, we'll just look at the authentication tab here. So right now we have no users in here. We should be connected, I hope. We'll double check this. Let's come back over here to our project. I'm going to shrink this down just a bit. Now, fingers crossed, let's see if we can actually sign in with Google. Again, GitHub, Azure won't work because we don't have that configured in Supabase, but let's try to sign in with Google. All right, redirects us to Google. Let's choose an account. Yes, continue. Hey, and now we're logged in. And let's go ahead and see. So actually, when we log in with Google, Google actually gives us a bunch of metadata back. So let's just go ahead and see here. We're logging this to the session, or we're storing it in the session. So we'll just console.log the session. Let's go ahead and save. So this is the data that Google is giving us back whenever we log in. So what if we want to display the name or the email of the user on the screen? So this is the session right here. So what we want to do is grab the session, user, and then let's see what else it is. So user, if we want the user.email down here, we should be able to see that in the console. There it is, just like that. So if we want to display this on the screen, we could say, instead of saying logged in, we'll just say let's just do like an H2 or something. We'll say welcome, and then let's do our session user email. Hey, welcome. There you go. But we need a way to sign out because it doesn't make any sense not to have a sign out button. So let's go ahead and create a sign out function here. And also I'm going to show you how to sign in without that pre-built Auth UI form, because that's kind of annoying if you're not using all those other options. So, but first let's be able to sign out here. So I'm going to say const sign out, and this is going to be an arrow function. And we'll say const error. Go to, and this is actually going to be asynchronous, so we'll just say await. Let's put our little async in there. So we'll say await supabase.auth.sign out, and this is a Supabase function that we're getting here. The sign out is a Supabase function. So let's go ahead and add a button here that says sign out, and what we're going to do here is just say on click we want to run the sign out function. So hopefully if we click this, we get signed out and we'll be redirected to just this auth component that we saw. So let's click this. And there you go, it redirects us. Now we're signed out. Now, what if we don't want this pre-built auth component? What if we just want a Google sign-in button? So let's do that. So I'm gonna close this down and I'm gonna just copy this. I'm gonna cut it. There we go. And I'll just paste it back in here, but I'll comment it out. And I'll just say button, sign in with Google. And now we can just write a little quick sign up function. We'll say const sign up, async, make this an arrow function. Then we'll say await supabase.auth.sign in with OAuth. Now we just need to pass the provider. And if you're doing multiple providers, you can add that in here, but we're just going to say provider, and we are using Google, and we'll just throw that in quotes. So let's go ahead and save. Now when we click the button, we need to add an on click in here. When we click that button, we want to run this sign up function. So this should behave the same way when we click the sign up function before. Let's get a refresh, make sure it's working correctly. Let's go ahead and click it. And now, since we've already authenticated with this account, it doesn't actually redirect us. The browser just holds all that information, and you can now see we're actually logged in with the account that we used before. And that's how easy it is to set up Google Authentication inside of a Supabase React application. You guys, if you want the free resume guide, then click the link below, and I'll send it to you for free so you can get started in your tech journey career. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button. I'll see you on the next one.